for anyone to use and to consume anywhere. But today I want to talk a little bit about, so I'm going to talk about AMP in production, which is a little bit more general, but can still be applicable for AMP stories. But I hope that my talk will be useful for a more general audience, not those only interested in AMP stories. So I want to talk about three things today. I want to talk about how to measure your metrics with AMP, how to distribute your site, and then finally how to monetize your site. And this stems for many questions that we received from the community, specifically, like why does my AMP page look so different than my original page? How can I measure my AMP traffic, especially across domains? Why are my AMP pages not showing up in Google, even though they're valid? And what if I can make any money, right? Because at the end of the day, it's nice to have a beautiful page and everything, but if you can't make any money, then what is it used for? Cool. So the first thing I want to talk about is measuring. It's investing your efforts in AMP is only good if you can measure it. So to justify a work that you're doing, you also have to measure it to make sure that it's actually offering some results. So I'll start with this quote. It says, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So I hope that with this talk I can give you a little bit of an overview of the tool that you can use inside of AMP to make sure that you're measuring your site the right way and making sure that you get all the correct information to set you up for a long-time success. Cool. So the first component that we've been talking about is called AMP Analytics, and it works just as a regular AMP component. You import the script, and then you include the tag in the body of your site. So here you can see the AMP Analytics tag. In the head, you would include the script. That's where you import it, and then inside the AMP Analytics tag here, you include the configuration that you want for your AMP Analytics. So a very basic configuration, an example would be to use the Google Analytics ID. And then inside the config, you can probably have some triggers that I'm going to talk a little bit about later. So, for example, some triggers that you can include in the configuration are the click trigger, the timer trigger, scroll, and form. And they are all very simple to use. They might look a little bit intimidating at the beginning, but once you take a closer look, it's very simple. So, for example, the click trigger, you have for example, I'm calling my anchor clicks for my click trigger, and I'm saying on click. Then for this selector, for example, the A tags, which are the anchor tags, or for our call to action ID tags inside those curly braces and money sign before. Then request event, and I can include some variables there. And that will give you a request once the user clicks on that anchor link or on that call to action ID. These are some of the triggers that we support, and it's just an overall example, but there's others that you can probably